Sweet Mother, what is an ideal of moral perfection? There are thousands of moral perfections. Everyone has its own ideal of moral perfection. What is usually called moral perfection is to have all the qualities that are considered moral, to have no defects, never to make a mistake, never to err, to be always what one conceives to be the best, to have all the virtues, that is, to realize the highest mental conception. To take all the qualities, there are many, are not there? All the virtues, all that man has conceived to be the most beautiful, most noble, most true, and to live that integrally, to let all one's actions be guided by that, all the movements, all the reactions, all the feelings, all. That is living a moral ideal of perfection. It is the summit of man's mental evolution. Not many people do it, but still there have been some and there still are. This is what men usually take for the spiritual life. When they meet a man of this type, they say, "Oh, he is a great spiritual being. He may be a great saint, he may be a great sage, but he is not a spiritual being." And yet, it is already very good and very difficult to realize this. And there comes a time in the inner evolution when it is very necessary to try to realize it. It is obviously infinitely higher than to be still guided by all one's impulses and ignorant outer reactions. It is to be already in a way the master of one's nature. It is even a stage through which one has to pass, for it is the stage one begins to be the master of one's ego, when one is ready to let it fall away. It is still there, but sufficiently weakened to be nearing its end. This is the last stage before crossing over to the other side. And certainly, if anyone imagines that he can go over to the other side without passing through this stage, he would risk making a great mistake and of taking for perfect freedom a perfect weakness with regard to his lower nature. It is almost impossible to pass from the mental being, even the most perfect and most remarkable, to the true spiritual life without having realized this ideal of mortal perfection for a certain period of time, however brief it may be. Many people try to take a shortcut and want to assert their inner freedom before having overcome all the weaknesses of the outer nature. They are in great danger of deluding themselves. The true spiritual life, complete freedom, is something much higher than the highest moral realizations, but one must take care that this so-called freedom is not an indulgence and a contempt for all rules. One must go higher, always higher, higher. Nothing less than what the highest of humanity has achieved. One must be capable of being spontaneously all the humanity and conceived to be the highest, the most beautiful, the most perfect, the most disinterested, the most comprehensive, the best, before opening one's spiritual wings and looking at all that from above as something which still belongs to the individual self, in order to enter into true spirituality, that which has no limits, which lives in an integral way, infinity and eternity.